Hello and welcome to the Daily Mill for Tuesday the 27th of September 2022. In today's Millwall news we have a couple more international caps for Millwall players at the moment. This is from England under-21, a friendly against Germany under-21, and Cresswell came on. It was played at Bramall Lane, and Cresswell, he started the game against Italy, but he was one of only a few players to play all 90 minutes. Well, in this game, he came onto the pitch as a substitute with like what was that, like 8 or 9 other players as well. So around about the 70th minute, there was some wholesale changes for the England team, and Cresswell came on in the 71st minute, and he's played about 20 minutes in that game. So he played 90 minutes a couple of days before, played 20 minutes in this game. So there you have it. A 3-1 victory as well. Not too bad, not too bad. This game was live on YouTube and it was on BBC iPlayer as well. I didn't watch it. I just checked in to see if Cresswell was playing. When I saw he wasn't, I didn't bother. So there you go. And we also have George Saville. Now he did travel out with the Northern Ireland team to Greece. He was on the bench though, but a concussion injury to Jordan Thompson, and George Saville came onto the pitch on the 10th minute, and that's when their woes began. I'm sure they're not linked, but 4 minutes later, Greece scored the first goal. Shane Lavery pulls on back, but the Northern Ireland team end up losing 3-1, and we'll get into what that means because this is a Nations League group game, and even though they lost Saville, they managed to stave off relegation. So let's see. Yeah, their goalkeeper had a howling that caused one of the goals to happen. He was their fifth best player. George was 36 touches, which, seeing as he only played 80 minutes, not too bad. So he had one dribble, got fouled once, and 2 unscheduled touches. Defensively, 1 tackle, 1 interception, 1 clearance, 2 fouls given away. Okay. Passing wise, we can see he had 23 passes, 78.3 accuracy. Not too bad, not the best there. I would say probably Tom Flanagan, Johnny Evans, but they're both central defenders. So you can see Northern Ireland doing that centre back shuffle when they pass it between themselves. George Saville had 2 crosses, 0 accurate, 3 long balls, 1 accurate. So just an alright game from George Saville. Highly unexpected that he was come on. Didn't expect that to happen, but he came on, did alright. But the team just outclassed in general. If we go back here, you can see the Greek players, highly rated players, top 5 all Greek players. Northern Ireland totally outclassed. But luckily they avoided relegation to the league below, if that means anything. This Nations League, it started out alright, now it's just a bit weird, and I'll tell you later at the end of this why it gets a bit weird. But so Scotland got promoted. This is what happened. This is from BBC.co.uk. This is what happened to because the last games were played this week, so now we know what's happening. Scotland got promoted, so they'll be in the league that England were in, except England got relegated, so they missed Scotland. They won't be playing Scotland games, so there you go. England got relegated, finished bottom of the group, didn't win a game. 6 games, not 1 win. Wales got relegated as well. bit of chaos around them and their manager. He was on trial, and then the trial collapsed, and they said, "Well, we're gonna go again with another trial." What was that about? Northern Ireland avoid drop to bottom tier. So yeah, George Savilles Northern Ireland. Luckily, today's game, Kosovo 5, Cyprus 1. So Cyprus got -4 on the goal difference, and Northern Ireland got a -2 on their goal difference in today's game. We end up with Cyprus and Northern Ireland both on 5 points. Cyprus have -8 goal difference. Northern Ireland have -3. So Northern Ireland stay in Group C. And that's how it goes. So this is where, like I say, it gets really complicated and weird. How it works. The promoted teams will play in the league above during the next edition of the Nations League, while the relegated teams will play in the league below. It's easy enough. The winners of each group in Leagues A, B and C have guaranteed a Euro 2024 playoff place. And that's all the teams in bold below. So Kazakhstan are in the Euro 2024 playoffs. Even though they're in a shit league, which they won. But here's a hint. But if these teams in bold qualify for Euro 2024 through the traditional qualifiers, their playoff spot goes to the next best team in their league or in a tier below if everybody in that league is qualified. What? The 12 teams will be split into 3 playoff groups with semis and a final, and the winners of each 3 teams in total, with the winners of each with 3 teams in total go to the Euros. These teams are in the Euro. They're in a Euro 2024 playoff through the Nations League, but they still go into the Euro 2024 qualifiers, and they can still qualify through that route. So I'm guessing because they've expanded it now, in the Euro qualifier, I think it's probably the top 2 go through. But then it says the playoff spot goes to the next best team in their league. In this league or the qualifying league? Which league? Nations League? Or in the tier below if everybody in that league is qualified? So what are we doing here? So if all of these teams at the top go through to Euro 24 through the traditional qualifiers, we'll go down and down and down, and then you could have a playoff situation from the Nations League with some really ropey teams, and 3 of them are going to be in the Euro 2024. There's going to be 12 teams split into 3 playoff groups. So 4 team leagues with semis and a final. Weird. Okay. It's just, like I said, when it first started, it seemed to be an interesting idea. Now it's stupid and weird and complicated and annoying. What are you going to do? Anyway, well done, Northern Ireland. Can you say well done? I mean, good for Northern Ireland, I guess, that they didn't get relegated. But like I said, that said the other day, that's a tough group for them. Greece, Kosovo, and Cyprus, they're literally all next door neighbours. Then you've got Northern Ireland, the one that got 3 hard away trips, and the away trips for all the other teams are as sweet as a nut. Not the best of groups. Hopefully they'll probably get a decent group now. Just sad that England get relegated and Scotland get promoted, so there's not going to be any England-Scotland game. Although at the moment, under the current manager, that might be a good thing. But I doubt he'll be here past the summer because I think we're going to bomb out of the World Cup quite severely. Moving on to some Millwall news. Injured Millwall players set for October return. So the injury update from subnews.co.uk. Mason Bennett and Sean Hutchinson could return to the Lions squad after missing a number of games through injury. Gary Rowett has confirmed that Sean Hutchinson and Mason Bennett are both in contention to feature for Millwall against Blackburn Rovers this weekend. Hutchinson injured his groin in the early stages of the second half against Cardiff City, meaning that he missed 2-0 defeat against QPR and a 2-1 win against Blackpool. Bennett, on the other hand, has been ruled out since tearing his hamstring 12 minutes into the 3-2 win against Coventry City on August 13, the injury which has seen him miss out on the Lions' last 7 matches. However, Brian Leonard remains ruled out as the club await the scans of his results of his second scan on torn hamstring, although Rowett is optimistic that Hutchinson and Bennett could be involved in Saturday's match at Ewood Park after training on Monday morning. We've no update on Lenny's scan yet, but the other two lads are both trained. Rowett told News Den. Actually trained in full today. Benno trained for about the season, 3/4 of the session, which was always planned. Again, we'll assess those players this week. They've both missed a good chunk of football, but I think the main bit will be that if they get through this week unscathed, then they'll both be available. That's not to say that I don't see them as fully fit to be back in the squad. It just means that if needed, they'll both be available to play some part in the game. That's what you want. That's what you want to get to, and then we can make good decisions around when the players come back into the team or into the squad. Part of the reason why Rowett feels the need to be cautious is because both players have had problems with injuries in the past, and the Mill boss is keen to avoid rushing them back into the team and leaving them at risk of rekindling any recurring issues. It's ironic, really, because up until his last injury, Mason probably had his longest period of training. He's been available for a lot of games over a long period of time. But of course, he's picked up bits in the past, and that have kind of added to the story, I'm sure. I think both of them miss little bits of football, and we've just got to make good decisions. Actually, has picked up quite a few little injuries over the last 12 months, so again, we've just got to try and sit down with the medical team or the sports science team and try and make the best decisions we can to keep them available for the long term, not just the short term. Indeed, no point rushing them back. No point rushing them back, especially for an away game at Blackburn, which we are not expected to win because our away form is absolute dog shit. So, comments from Gary Rowett regarding the loan of under-21 player Besart Topallojs. Also from subnews.co.uk, Millwall manager explains Topallojs' National League loan. Millwall boss Gary Rowett explained why Besart Topallojs joined National League outfit Dagenham and Redbridge on a 28-day loan. The defender has been crucial for the Lions under-21s team, captaining Kevin Nugent's side to a near flawless start in the Professional Development League this season. However, the decision was made for him to join the Daggers in his first ever loan spell, giving him a proper taste of competitive senior football after training with Mill's first team over the last few months. Yes, so that was his professional debut. What a cracker, 5-4, huh? That will be a hard one to forget. Rowett admitted that it would be better for him to experience this level of football rather than remaining with the under-21s, but he stressed that the length of the loan would give the club the flexibility to plan his immediate future very carefully. Because it was a 28-day loan and because he needs game time, it was a very easy one, Rowett told Music then. It's a National League level, which we felt was the very minimum we wanted him to go to. We felt it was a good opportunity fairly locally to go and get a month of games. With the international break, there was already a week where we could play without being unavailable for us because we didn't have a game. It's now a case of for 3 weeks he can go and play some football. It was sold to us that he would have a really good chance of playing even in the first game. That's all you want to know as a parent club, that he gets that chance. And it's up to him to keep the shirt, stay in the team and play 5 or 6 games. Then he can either stay or come back. It depends on what we want to do at that point. He's done so well, Bez, in his first loan, so it's important that he gets out and plays some men's football, some competitive football, and we expect him to do really, really well. Indeed, well, he had a bit of a bonfire of a debut, 5-4 victory. I would say they play the same. Dagenham play 3-5-2, same system, and their left wing back is more of a left wing forward. He's more of a winger playing in that position. So didn't see him doing a lot of defending. So Bez is up against it, but he did all right. He did all right. So we'll see how he gets on in the next game coming up. Now we're going to finish with this from southernnews.co.uk as well. former Millwall striker, to run the London Marathon for the first time this Sunday. He's running for Evelina Children's Hospital in memory of his late dad. So, I told you the other day, Gary Rowett is running. He's a constant runner. That's how he fills his time to avoid getting bored. And he's aiming for an under 4 hour time. I don't think, no offence for Gary Alexander here, will be doing under 4 hours. Former Millwall striker Gary Alexander will run London Marathon this year for the first time in memory of his dad who passed away during the pandemic. Alexander, who played for Millwall from 2007 to 2010, says, "It's something I've always wanted to do, but during my football career I was never able to." Gary's dad was a big supporter of Evelina London Children's Charity and sadly passed away from COVID during the pandemic. "It's been really hard to get motivated with my dad's passing, but I'm running in his memory and raising money for a cause he donated to all of his life." Alexander has raised nearly £5,000 already. Since leaving football, he says he's a bit out of practice, but adds, "As soon as I got a call from Evelina saying I could run on behalf of them, I got straight back into training." He says he's been training himself for 3 months to prepare for the race on Sunday. When he can, Gary, now 43, coaches at Ballers Academy, the local award-winning football academy that mentors young players based in Rotherhithe. Academy manager Jamie Mehmet said Gary scored one of the best goals ever at Wembley in 2009 against Saville United, so he's a great example for the kids to look up to. He comes in and works with the strikers at the academy to give them tips on goal scoring. Tell you what, never mind at the Ballers Academy, get him down at Calman Road. Give the first team some tips on scoring. That would be something to behold. So we've got Gary Rowett and Gary Alexander. Something about Garys, they like running. But yeah, that's £5,000 raised already. Decent there for the children's charity. Good luck to him. Hope he makes it round and he doesn't suffer too much. He's had 3 months of training, so he should be alright. And on that note, thank you for watching and goodbye.